Hello everyone, welcome to today's news starter. Let us start with the most important news which were in the focus for today. Let us start with the first news, that is Monetary Policy Committee. So every time you can see that regularly the term Monetary Policy Committee comes into focus because it is the Monetary Policy Committee which is going to decide about the policy rates. The repo rate, reverse repo rate, etc. are decided by the Monetary Policy Committee. So from examination point of view, you do not have to know what kind of repo rate, reverse repo rate is going on. These things are usually asked in bank examinations, not in UPSC examinations. In UPSC examination, what you should be knowing is what is the Monetary Policy Committee? What exactly constitutes the Monetary Policy Committee? Why it is important? So these things you should be knowing. First and foremost point, the Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934. This is the act which gives the base for Monetary Policy Committee. So the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 was amended by the Finance Act of 2016. When the budget was passed in 2016, they amended this and they introduced the Monetary Policy Committee. This is important. So how it came into being, what is the origin of Monetary Policy Committee is important from prelims point of view. What function it does? It fixes the benchmark policy rate. Repo rate. What is a repo rate? Repo rate is the rate at which the RBI gives loan to the banks. So this point should be known to contain the inflation within the specified target level. What is the specified target level? You should be knowing about it. 4 to 6% is the specified target level. Who are the members in the Monetary Policy Committee? In total, 6 members are there. RBI Governor, RBI Deputy Governor, and one official nominated by the RBI board. So these 3 people comes from RBI. The remaining 3 people would be representatives of the government of India. So in total, 6 members. The quorum is 4 members. So minimum 4 members should be there to discuss any kind of topic. At least one of whom should be the governor. Out of these 4 members, at least one should be the RBI governor or the deputy governor. So these points are extremely important. I can't stress more. It is in these kind of points, UPSC will ask very confusing statements. So this point should be given importance. In case of a tie, because 6 members are there, sometimes it will become that 3 people will vote for something, 3 people will be voting against it. So in case of a tie, the RBI governor will have the second casting vote. This will be the decisive vote. And whatever decision was taken by the Monetary Policy Committee, it would be completely binding on the RBI. So what is the reason for inclusion of Monetary Policy Committee? One of the major reason is earlier, before 2016, there were a lot of criticisms that the RBI is completely under the control of the government and the government is influencing the monetary policy as per the requirement. So for example, if there is a election year, the government may tell we need to reduce the repo rate or increase the repo rate according to the need. So monetary policy of a country cannot run according to the whims of the government. It has to be run based on solid economic foundation. So this is the reason Monetary Policy Committee came into being. The Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 created it, and there are 6 members. The quorum will be a minimum of 4 members. These points you should be knowing. Stock limits on wheat. So today's newspaper told that the government has made some stock limits on wheat. So from examination point of view, you need to know what gives the power for the government to tell that only certain amount of product should be kept with a shopkeeper or should be kept with a merchant. They will not allow huge amount of stocks to be kept by one person or one entity. The removal of licensing requirements, stock limits, and movement restrictions on specified foodstuffs, Amendment Order of 2023. This is the order which gives the power for the government to tell how much quantity can be kept by a person or by a merchant or by a entity. Why do they do it? Because wheat is a basic requirement. Wheat is a staple in our country. So no one can misuse this and have a lot of product in their hand, so that whenever the rate increases, they can sell it. So that is manipulation. So such things should be avoided, and that is why we have passed this order. So respective legal entities shall declare the stock position. Whatever stock is there in the hand of an entity should be declared by them on a portal of Department of Consumer Affairs. So for example, if I am a merchant, if I am a wheat merchant, I should declare how much quantity of wheat I am having at present in the portal. If not, it will become a offense. Apart from this, one more important scheme is always in news these days regularly, that is open market sales scheme. So what exactly it is? To dispose of the surplus. The Food Corporation of India has a lot of surplus food, cereals, and all these things. So whenever there is a requirement for wheat and rice, whenever there is a requirement for wheat and rice to be included in the market, if there is a need, the Food Corporation of India, what they will do is they will dispose of the surplus wheat and rice in the open market. So that is why it is called as open market sales scheme. So they will fix a particular price and then they will tell, we will go for auction. Whoever want to get this product, they can get this product. So with this particular scheme, they are trying to prevent a position where the food prices are increasing to a greater height to prevent inflation. So FCA conducts weekly auctions. Weekly auctions are conducted for wheat on the platform of National Commodity and Derivative Exchange Limit, NC, NCDEX, National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange Limited. So you need to know this basics for your prelims examination. From mains examination also, open market sales scheme is important. Central bank digital currency for prelims 2024. For the prelims 2024 examination, the central bank digital currency is a very important topic. What exactly it is? It is not a cryptocurrency. This is a point which you should be knowing. It is a digital form of the present paper currency. Whatever paper currency we are having at present, it is a digital form of that. That's all. It is considered as a legal tender, and then it is issued and backed by a central bank. This point is very important because if it is a cryptocurrency, it is not backed by a central bank, whereas the central bank digital currency or the CBDC is backed by the central bank. What is the importance of this CBDC? CBDC is important because it will trim the cost in handling prices. So if the government is giving away, or if the government is printing a lot of currency, that currency has to be handled. So printing charges are there, handling charges is there, transportation charges is there. When the notes become soiled, then that has to be replaced. So logistic charges, insurance charges, all these charges are there. So these things will be we can exclude all these things if we start to use the central bank digital currency to a greater extent. It is the same as a fiat currency. It is exchangeable one to one with the fiat currency. So if I have a 100 rupee CBDC in my wallet, and if I have to give 100 rupees to someone, I can just transfer it. That's all. So it will be considered equal to a currency note. It can be transacted using wallets, just like how we have Paytm wallet, PhonePe wallet. In the same way, it can also be done, which is backed by a blockchain. A wallet backed by a blockchain can use CBDC, but CBDC is not a blockchain-based technology. Decentralized virtual currency and crypto assets, which are not issued by the state and lack the legal tender status. So crypto assets are those which do not have any legal status, whereas the CBDC has legal status. So there can be one a particular statement which can be given about CBDC. If they are telling that India is the first country to give out a central bank digital currency, it is a false statement. It was Bahamas which gave the first digital currency. CRISPR-Cas9, that is clustered regulatory interface short palindrome repeats. This is a gene editing technology which was in news recently. So we need to know the basics because it can be asked, especially such things are asked in mains examination these days. Biology based, biotechnology based questions are asked in mains examination, so you should know about it. So CRISPR-Cas is one of the most important technologies which developed in the recent times to prevent genetically transmitted diseases. To prevent genetic diseases. So here what we will be doing is, first thing, DNA of a person will be analyzed to find out if there is any genetic defect. So the DNA of a individual will be analyzed for defect, and then the DNA will be checked. Whichever gene has a defect, that will be cut out using the CRISPR technology. So CRISPR is genetic scissors. Here what we will do, using the CRISPR-Cas technology, we will cut out the faulty genes and then we will replace it with the healthy gene. And the DNA will repair itself with the healthy genes, and then the genetic defect will be overcome. So this is the basics which you should be knowing. Here, what are all the points you should know? CRISPR-Cas9 technology is also called as genetic scissors, an important fact for prelims. And then the bad stretch in DNA sequence, which is the cause of the disease, is located first. It is cut out, removed, and replaced with a correct sequence. So this is the sequence of the technology which is happening. In this technology, to identify the place in which the DNA is faulty, RNA molecule is used. RNA molecule is used to locate the defect. Cas9 is a protein. Cas9 is a type of protein which is used to break the DNA strand completely at specific points and remove the bad sequence. So these are all the important facts you should be knowing from the examination point of view. Some important points from mains examination perspective which you can use in your answer. The World Meteorological Organization recently gave a report. The name of the report is the Global Climate 2011 to 2020. So in the past one decade, how the global climate was. In this, some important points have been given which you can use in your answers, use in mains answers specifically. On average, the world's glaciers have thinned by approximately a meter a year. So the global amount of glaciers have thinned, have melted around 1 meter every year for 10 years from 2011 to 2020. There is due to this melting, what is happening is a lot of proglacial lakes are coming up. Proglacial lakes means are lakes which are created because of the melting of glaciers. So such lakes are also called as glacial lake outburst flood. Due to such lakes, due to such immense amount of melting, flood is also happening. We call it with the term glacial lake outburst flood. This you should be knowing. Report by International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. They gave a report that in the Hindu Kush mountain region, glaciers are disappearing and it is 65% faster in 2010. That is in the last one decade, from 2011 to 2020, the amount of disappearance of glaciers has increased to 65%. These points why we should know so that you can use it in your GS3 answers, especially with respect to environment. Mains question of the day will be the global stocktake has linked the tripling of renewable energy capacity with a phase out of the use of fossil fuels. So in the beginning, they are giving a statement that global stocktake has told that we need to triple the renewable energy capacity by reducing the fossil fuel amount. This is a statement, but the actual question starts from here. Discuss the progress made by India in phasing out of fossil fuels. So it is a 15-mark question. You can give an introduction about the increase of renewable energy in the recent times by India specifically. And then you can tell that how renewable energy capacity increasing and reducing of fossil fuel will help us. a small explanation, and then you have to discuss the progress made by India in phasing out of fossil fuels, all the steps India has taken, and then conclude your answer. That's all. One important concept from prelims examination point of view is fixed dose combination. What is this fixed dose combination? This concept you can study. Fixed dose combination means if, for example, someone is facing some disease and he need to take 3 to 4 medicines. Instead of giving 3 to 4 different medicines, what they do is they will make one single dose by combining all the 3 medicines. This is called as fixed dose combination. So it looks like it is good. It is really good because people don't have to spend a lot of money in 3 different medicines. Instead, they can have one single dose. And it will be easy to carry it. It will be easy for consumption. People will not miss their drugs. But the problem here is the government has some restrictions in pricing of drugs. So instead of having different drugs with price restriction, they will come up with a new combination and call it as a new drug without any price restriction. So this problem has to be sorted out. That will be all for today. You can go through the paper, analyze it very well, study each and every point. If there is any doubt, you can ask in the Telegram group and write the answer for mains. You can send to us. We will get it corrected and then we will provide you the feedback also. All the best.